Chapter 16, C.J. Sciutto. When I hear my phone alarm in the morning, it's always the same. I twist over to hit snooze, but since I'm on a couch, not a bed, I roll off the edge and hit the floor like a sack of oats. And even though it's a shock, it gets the job done because I'm wide awake now. I look around, blinking. No familiar wooden furniture in the style of the Old West. No posters all around. Instead, close metal walls. Old-fashioned TV, mini kitchen, the fort. I slept at the fort, again. I check my phone, 41 missed calls, enough new texts to fill a novel. What would I do without Do Not Disturb mode? I sift through the messages. Mom and Marcus, Marcus and Mom. Where are you? When are you coming home? You can see the tension ratcheting upward as it gets later and later, and there's still no word from me. 10:45 p.m. from Marcus. Please, buddy, Mom's freaking out. 12:02 a.m. from Mom. Why are you doing this? It bothers me because my mother knows the answer to that question. I'm doing this because my scrapes and bumps and bruised ribs have nothing to do with bike jumps or skateboard stunts or death defiers. They come from the man who became my stepfather when she married him. Just the thought of Marcus makes my entire body swell with anger until it feels like I should be able to level the whole town just by channeling the energy and shooting it out my finger. And then, a split second later, the power deserts me and I slump back onto the couch, racked with guilt. Mom's all alone with him. I'm the one who should be protecting her. And where am I? Cowering in the fort, hiding in a hole in the ground? And if that's not cowardly, what is? Anyway, Mom must be on her way to work by now, so she's safe from Marcus for at least the next few hours. And I'd better get moving if I want to get to school on time. Yeah, school. I'm still going, even though I'm not sleeping at home anymore. I don't know why. I could definitely never explain it to Mitchell, who hates school more than any 50 kids alive. Maybe it's because I want to keep one thing in my life that's actually normal. Besides, if I stop showing up at school, the guys will definitely notice, and I don't want to have to explain the whole ugly business of what's going on at our house. I let myself out of the fort, careful to replace the camouflage over the trapdoor. As much as I hate the reason I'm spending my nights in Bennett Delamere's bomb shelter, I can't escape a rush of freedom and exhilaration. There's something awesome about living on your own with no parents and no rules. You don't have to please anybody but yourself. It's like having your own place, a basement apartment in a forest, complete with all the 40-year-old soup you can eat. I reach the trail, speed up to a jog, and that's when it hits me. The breeze travels from my armpits to my nose, and I realize that the woods don't stink. I do. It isn't exactly body odor, but when you wear the same clothes for 3 days running, you're gonna get pretty ripe. I check the time on my phone. Perfect. Marcus will have left for work by now, and if I hurry, I can swing by home, grab a shower and fresh duds, and still make it to school by the late bell. I let myself in, run upstairs, shower in world record time, and throw on fresh joggers and a sweatshirt. I cram a couple of extra outfits into a backpack for future use. There's no shower at the fort, but I can always wash up at the sink. On the way down again, I'm caught completely off guard when the front door opens and Marcus steps inside. He's reaching for his windbreaker, which hangs on a peg in the hall, when he spots me. CJ! I fly the rest of the way down the stairs and execute a 180 worthy of any of my death defiers, sprinting for the back door. What Marcus lacks in speed, he makes up for in sheer size. One of his strides is worth 2 of mine, and he catches up with me in the kitchen, grabs me by the shoulders, and spins me around. I brace myself for what's coming next, a fist like a battering ram, a shove through the storm door. Marcus sometimes does this thing where he picks you up under the arms and shakes you until your brain turns into Frappuccino. Instead, he pulls me into a suffocating bear hug and goes on about how he and Mom were so worried and thank God I've come to my senses and blah, blah, blah. When I get my strength back, I push him to arm's length and say, I'm late for school. Right, he exclaims. Yeah, sure thing, buddy. I'll drive you. I can walk. The car's right outside, he insists. I just stopped home because I left my ID badge in my jacket. Stupid me, huh? I don't answer, but stupid isn't the word I'd use. Vicious, dangerous, out of control, unstable. Those would be more like it. Maintaining a vice grip on me, he hustles me to the front of the door, but stops to pat on some pancake makeup to cover my cheek, which is still bruised, courtesy of him. At the sight of the makeup compact on the hall table, I see red. Did you hit my mother? What? He's dismayed. Of course not. Why would you even ask? Because every time there's makeup by the door, it's because Mom has to cover up some mark you put on her. Never, he swears, crossing his heart where it would be if he had one. He pulls out his phone and offers it to me. You can ask her. She'll lie for you, I said bitterly. She's done it 1,000,000 times. And that's why it's never worth calling the cops on Marcus, because no matter what he does, my mother would never press charges. He drags me out to the car, but I refuse to get in. I said I can walk, and I said I'll drive you. I recognize the edge to his voice. Something's coming. To try to ward it off, I obey and get into the passenger seat. He slams the door so hard I'm amazed the windshield doesn't shatter, and only the backpack saves my shoulder. By the time he walks around the car and gets into the driver's seat, he's sweet, even-tempered Marcus again. Mom's worried. We both were. Hey, let's order Fontana's for dinner tonight. I know that's your favorite. And he goes on and on about a fun family reunion. All I can see is Mom's pancake makeup on the hall table. If you hit my mother, if you hit my mother. I know that I've got to get out of this car before my head explodes. We're half a block from the school now, and the traffic slows down as the drop-off line blocks the right lane. It's my chance. When Marcus taps the brake, I fling the door wide, clutch my backpack, and hurl myself out onto the road. We're only going 15 miles an hour, but the impact feels like I've dropped off a skyscraper. By sheer instinct, I roll for the sidewalk. And the next thing I know, skinny arms grab me and pull me over the curb to safety. Ricky peers anxiously into my face. CJ? I look out into the road. Through the open door of Marcus's sedan, I see my stepfather's astonishment and rage. It's like he's trying to decide whether or not to drag me back in. But when he recognizes Ricky and realizes everything he does to me here will be witnessed, he pulls the door shut, snakes past the traffic, and speeds away. What just happened? Ricky asks in shock. I pick myself up and dust myself off, ignoring a few newly acquired bumps and scrapes. Just my latest death to fire. Like it? You jumped out of a moving car. Good one, right? You're lucky to be alive, he marvels. Why would your dad let you do that? I freeze. Marcus is not my dad. He's my mother's husband. Now he's looking directly into my face. And how come you're wearing makeup? I'm not, I lie. You are so. It's all over your pogo stick bruise. It's not makeup. It's disinfectant. I always stood up for Ricky when Mitchell and the others complained about him, but now he's starting to get on my nerves. The bell rings and we break into a jog, me in the lead. I can feel Ricky's magnet school eyes burning into the back of my head. Great book.